Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel, where everything you're about to hear and see has been done in one take. I'm your host, the One Take Man. For today's video, I decided to once again visit A Better World, which is an alternate history game where you are given various points throughout humanity's history and are given the option to change what happens and explore what it is that explore what consequences each of your modifications or changes has. And as you can see, there is a karma meter. So if you implement good changes, your karma goes up. If you implement bad changes, your karma goes down, and it can go up or down by uh, tens of thousands of points. And I think if you get, consistent, consistent good changes, then automatically the game is over and you've just won. Though I think that's relatively hard to do, but if I'm not mistaken, I already made a video about this game, like in the prehistory of my channel. I'll link a video if that's the case. And I actually got a pretty good score. So good that I was automatically declared a winner. Maybe I played it and not filmed it, but anyway. Now I have this thing in front of me, and I have some time to kill and no better idea. So I guess this is what we're doing. And the four options this game makes available are the four options are the coronation of Charlemagne in 800. Marco Polo discovers Asia in 1271. Well, okay, let's be honest, he didn't discover Asia, he explored Asia. The Russian Revolution in 1917, or Indian independence in 1947. For the fun of it, let's go for the furthest amount possible back in time and see what can change. Coronation of Charlemagne. The major European nations turned to Charlemagne with the blessing of the great religious leaders, i.e. the Pope, as opposed to his rival, Irene the Athenian, based in Constantinople. On December 25th of the year 800, he took the head of the Western Empire and later began a series of reforms. Yeah, the Carolingian Renaissance. How do you plan to change the past? Strengthen Charlemagne's power or weaken Charlemagne's power? Well, let's see. Not exactly sure how effective Irene the Athenian was as a ruler compared to him, so I'm gonna say strengthen. Okay, using spotlights, you create the illusion that angels are flying above the church where Charlemagne is crowned. Not exactly sure how that would work, but okay, let's go ahead. This vision strikes the assembly of the powerful, but also the population, and Charlemagne is truly considered sent from the gods. His word, therefore, will be absolutely divine. You've changed the past. What's going to happen? Okay, angels countable as the coronation. That's changed. Beginning of the Great Civilizing Crusades. Oh, fuck. Oh no. Damn, my karma just went down so bad. The Western Empire covers all of Europe. Okay, the Western Empire conquers England and Ireland, 1066. Yeah, of course. It's the same thing, but apparently different players. Construction of the Great Vatican Library. Death of the authors of the Magna Carta, not Charta. This was 1250. Oh, no. Oh, no, no, no. Please tell me the Magna Carta still exists. Renaissance thinkers are put at the... Oh, no. Grand massacre of peasant revolts against serfdom. Oh, yeah. Control of the steam engine? That's in 1663. Wait, what? American Civil War. Women struggle for the right to vote. Black for the economic crash. Okay, I can't change any of these, so... let's see. American Civil War. Not sure how much karma I can recoup from that, but let's go. Lincoln's election precipitated the division of North America into Unionists, Northerners, Abolitionists, and Southern Confederates. It is the greatest war on American territory, which will end in the victory of the Unionists, resulting, in addition to the abolition of slavery, in the unification of American territory into a single nation, the United States. Well, technically it already was a United Nation, but then some people got uppity. How do you plan to change the past? Win over the Confederates. Negotiate a peace between Unionists and Confederates. Fuck that shit. Slavery's going down. Win over the Confederates. Ah, shit. You entrust the Confederates with modern weapons. Explain to them that they come from mysterious allies of Europe. What did I think I was going to do? Anyway, okay, we're going on a bad karma run. Buckle up. Explaining to them they come from mysterious allies of Europe. In just a few days, the Unionist army is defeated and demands a surrender, which it obtains in exchange for all of its territory. Okay, what kind of weapons actually? I'm really curious. You've changed the past. What's going to happen? Well, my karma has gone further down. And let's see. The Confederate States enshrine slavery in the Constitution. Ah, shit. Creation of the Suez Canal, possible modification. The division. Confederate States separate into autonomous counties. Damn. The Confederate States of America unite and colonize West Africa. What? Women struggle for the right to vote. Second American Inter-County Civil War. Oh, wow. Okay, Drew Darnell would have a field day with this. The Great Anarchy collapses Confederate America. Good. The Third Reich conquers the lawless... Oh, not good. Wait a second. The Third Reich and its policies were inspired by Manifest Destiny, which really only came to fruition after the American Civil War. So does that still happen? Yeah. Interesting question. Third World War, thermonuclear between Nazi America and Russia, extinction of humanity. Oh, damn. I ended humanity in 1948. Okay, let's see what I can change. Civil War in England or beginning of the slave trade. Maybe I can stop it. Ships leave Europe and trade goods for slaves in Africa. These slaves are taken to the New World where they will be depleted or used. Sugarcane or tobacco plantations, which the ships will bring back with them. This was the beginning of a fairly profitable trade that lasted until the 19th century. How do you plan to change the past? Sink the ships. Traveling back in time with an attack submarine called the Nautilus, you systematically locate and sink slave ships, even before they reach Africa. The profitability of such expeditions drops completely and slavery does not become more of a business. You've changed the past. What's going to happen? Well, given the victory of the Confederacy led to the end of humanity, and now the Confederacy doesn't have a leg to stand on because slavery doesn't exist, this ought to be very interesting. Well, my karma has gone slightly up. Where did I bring some change? Okay. Oh yeah, a sea monster sinks merchant ships in Africa. European commercial fleets are devastated. Magellan goes around the Atlantic without finding the sea monster. Okay. Spanish Armada reigns over the seas. Okay. Civil War in England still occurs. Control of the steam engine still occurs. European settlers are massacred by the Indians. Okay. Or should be said, is it not Native Americans in 1733? Okay. Europe abandons America to its fate. What fate? African immigrants colonize Haiti. Okay, Africa moves explores the New World. That's interesting. Peace treaty between the United Amerindian Nations. Wait, that still happens? The Confederacy still exists? How? Anyway, another possible modification: the invention of the radio. Indian independence. Possible modification. Okay, again, how does the Third Reich still exist? You know what? I'm gonna go. I'm gonna try this because why the fuck not? Black Death kills 1/3 of the European population. The plague, or the Black Death, strikes the world, especially Europe, eradicating 30 to 50% of the population. After the some estimates actually put it as high as 90%, which I have to say is somewhat unlikely. After the violent shock that will last 5 years, the plague will continue to rage for many centuries, in a less global way but still present. Spread the vaccine or cure the plague by saying it's the work of God. And no, I've already seen what theocracy does. I'm not having it. So I'm gonna go spread the vaccine. It is a colossal job for a single individual, but you are going from city to city distributing powerful antibiotics to cure the population. The plague will make many deaths, and it will be well feared, but thanks to you, millions will be saved, changing history forever. Okay, let's see what happens. Wow, I raised a lot of karma. But did I still destroy the world? Let's see. The Black Death is mysteriously contained. Renaissance thinkers are put. No, it doesn't. Grand Massacre. European Medical Revolution, Demographic Transition. Okay, that's good. Ottomans were crushed at Constantinople. Ooh, interesting. Okay, Sea Monster. Okay, newest. Where are the newest changes actually? The English occupy the entire east coast of America. Waves of a massive immigration from Europe to the Americas. Okay. Holy Roman Empire occupies all of Asia Minor. How did that happen? Oh wait, Asia Minor got depopulated and I only protected Europe. Because I only protected Europe and now Holy Roman Empire has expanded. But aren't there like other countries between the Holy Roman Empire and Asia Minor? How did that happen? Another series of crusades? European settlers are massacred by... Okay, Europe abandons America to its fate. Europe has 2 billion inhabitants by 1796? The fuck? African immigrants colonized Haiti. Okay, the Napoleonic Wars still happen. Not surprised. Independence of Spanish colonies. Okay. How did the Confederate States still win? Okay. Let's see. Napoleonic Wars. I kind of have it in my head now that I want to reverse the Confederacy, and really I'm not exactly sure to what extent the Louisiana Purchase made a difference, but I know that, but I suspect it might have, and Napoleon was involved. Do any of the options actually, make it possible? Napoleon is crowned Emperor of France and will lead a reformist regime, but also a military campaign to weaken and eventually conquer neighboring nations. A campaign that will not lead, if not to the dismissal and exile of Napoleon. They will. Yeah, okay. Can you tell whoever wrote this didn't really have great English? I assume the creators of this thing are actually French. How do you plan to change the past? Make all of Napoleon's battles a triumph, or exploit Napoleon's defeat to annihilate France? There are jokes, traveling around about how France is a subtly imperialist nation and therefore cringy and deserves to be destroyed, or like how being French is an insult or something like that, traveling around the world. But really, I don't want to annihilate France, because I'd rather, let's see, make all Napoleon's battles a triumph, because Napoleon, messy as he was, he still exported a civil code all throughout Europe, and that particular civil code led to the European Spring of 1848 and the ascent of liberal thought all throughout the civilized world. In effect, actually civilizing the civilized world. And yeah, it does lead to some cringy outcomes in these days, but it also brings a lot of helpful things like the right to body autonomy, the right to free speech, and other pretty stuff like that. So I'm gonna make all of Napoleon's battles a triumph. You have the precise details of each battle. With spies, you send them to Napoleon, who revises his strategy. Trafalgar will mark the end of the English Navy. Ooh, Waterloo will be an absolute victory. Russia, conquered in midsummer, will also fold. Russia was actually attacked in midsummer, but the advance failed because of mud. True story. Napoleon is on the point of conquering the whole world. Oh, what will that do? I brought down my karma again. Let's see, where did I change? Okay, 1804. Coronation of Napoleon, conqueror of the world. The British fleet is destroyed at Trafalgar. Napoleon conquers Russia. Napoleon crushes the European coalition in Leipzig and creates the Great French Empire. Okay. Napoleon took advantage of the insurrection of the Spanish colonies to conquer South America. Okay, the Confederates still happen. The Great French Empire covers all of North and West Africa. Okay. Second French Revolution, the Great French Empire separates following an internal secession war. And the Great World War devastates French territory. Indian independence, Third World War between Nazi America and Russia. Oh, okay. Seriously, Nazis, America still becomes Nazi. I'm not done yet. Vasco da Gama opens the road to India. Maybe there's a more recent change I can exploit? No. Charles Martel. I really want to see this happen. I really want to see what happens here. Charles Martel, a military figure and major authority in Francia, clearly repulsed by the Caliphate's advance from Damascus to Poitiers, then later reconquered all the Muslim strongholds in the north. Exactly which north is kind of hard to say. I think the north of the Iberian Peninsula. Without this fateful battle, what would have been the destiny of Europe? Murder Charles Martel or influence Charles Martel to pursue a policy of conquest and do the Reconquista centuries earlier? Let's see what that does. Integrating the court of Charles Martel, you suggested him to eliminate the Muslim threat. Muslim? Not Muslim? Yeah. By transforming its effort of defense into activity of conquest. Your counsels bear fruit, and Charles Martel launches out in a great military campaign, associated with forces of Constantinople. You've changed the past. What's going to happen? I don't remember how my karma developed, so... moving ahead. Okay, this is where Charles Martel begins his great campaign to conquer the world. Okay, siege of Damascus and the fall of the Caliphate. Cool. And Charlemagne takes the head of the Franco-Syrian Empire. Holy Franco-Syrian Empire conquers Central Asia. This is cursed. This is so cursed. Okay, next up. Great Evangelical Crusade in Asia and Africa. Oh, no. Crusades again. Holy Roman Empire subdues Ethiopia and dominates the peoples of Africa. Rise of the Aztec civilization. Possible modification. Black Death mysteriously contained. Okay, that's Constantinople, capital of the Holy Empire. Okay, that's an interesting change. I still saw the slave trade. Does it actually make a difference here? English occupy the coast. Europe abandons America. Nothing else changes. There's still a third world war and humanity goes extinct. What happens here with the Spanish flu? A pandemic, H1N1 flu, is spreading across the planet. All countries are affected. Mortality is high, 3%. Okay, let's say that's high. And a large part of the population is contracting it. The most affected are, strangely enough, people in their 30s. The worst affected countries are India and China, where deaths are counted in the millions. Propose a vaccine immediately or use the flu as a tool for eugenics. That won't win. Both options suck. Okay, you know what? Committed. Full chaos. Influenza is a great natural way to select the population that can survive. You select an intellectual elite from each population and save them from disease with vaccines, while establishing a doctrine of eugenics. But wait a second, there isn't actually a vaccine against Spanish flu, is there? Well, I think there are vaccines against similar diseases, but would they work on the Spanish flu? A new era of higher beings can take place. I think I just precipitated Nazis. Anyway, let's see what happens. My karma, I think, has gone down. The real points of interest are here. 1918. The Spanish flu devastates human populations, leaving only an enigmatic elite advocating eugenics. Oh, yeah. Wait, how did that guy weasel his way there? Substitution of money by genos, a medical currency. Not sure what that means. The eugenic wars pose the surviving race to the imperfect, which are annihilated. Grand Eugenics Council directs all the nations. Yet somehow that still leads to the extinction of humanity. Yeah. any other change I could implement. It's because it seems that conclusion is always going to happen. So you know what? Let's go all the way back in time and really lead to the worst possible, lead to the worst possible conclusions. Construction of the Great Pyramid. Yeah, okay, let's try that. Instead of a pyramid, build a sphere. Instead of a tomb, build a fortress. Yeah, okay. The pharaoh Khufu had the Egyptians build the la la la. Mystical symbol has spanned a millennia. It is one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world still standing. It's the only one still standing. Instead of a tomb, build a fortress. You infiltrate the pharaoh's court, becoming friends with his son. When the living god dies, your influence is such that you persuade his successor to bury him in another place. This pyramid will be an impregnable fortress which will make Egypt an eternal nation. Yeah, very eternal. Does the world still go boom? I think the world still goes boom. Okay, construction of the Great Fortress. Anything else? The Caliphate seizes the Great Fortress. Yeah, quite an eternal fortress that was. The Caliphate crushes Charles Martel. Oh, conquers Europe. Okay, the Normans push the Caliphate to Spain. Really? You just changed it back? Anything else that's changed? At least in this run? No. The Ottoman Empire rules the world. When did that happen? Okay, War of European Independence against the Ottoman Empire. And yeah, everything else seems to remain the same, including this. What about this? Thermonuclear war. Maybe I can prevent it by making the atom bomb be discovered a little bit later. Let's see. Within a few months, Einstein turned theoretical physics upside down, both in the infinitely large and the infinitely small. Continuing Poincaré's work, oh, this is not good. Someone else might have continued it, which might make my changes moot. He establishes a relationship between space and time, between mass and energy. It is also the beginning of the mastery of nuclear energy, for better or for worse. How do you plan to change the past? Distract Einstein from his research, pass on to Einstein the state of science in the 21st century. Okay, that might not be good. Einstein had some interesting ideas pertaining to the social impact of science and industry, and I don't know if this game really takes that into account, and whether or not Einstein would be convinced by what I'm about to reveal, that what it is that I'm showing will actually deserves to be spread around. So I'm gonna say distract him from his research. With the help of an accomplice, you seduce the great physicist, who abandons his atomic and stellar work to devote himself to more terrestrial interests, whatever those could be. Physics still remains an opaque wall for the scientists of the day, and the nuclear force will never be brought under control. You've changed the past. What's going to happen? And my karma is still in the red. Still pretty bad, actually. My change occurs in 1905. Einstein falls in love and abandons his scientific work. I think he was actually married at the time, so this kind of doesn't make sense. Second French Revolution, no, that already happened. Spanish flu already happened. Eugenics wars already happened. Second World War is bogged down in an endless conflict. Oh. The time of the alliances, countries create superpowers to support the war effort. The War of the Continents. Africa, Europe, Asia. Why not Eurasia? Anyway, and America in a bloody war. And Indian independence. The Great Hunger, lands burned by war, caused millions of deaths, and the return of cannibal. Oh. Extinction, the world population is estimated at a few million. The collapse, modern civilization returns to feudalism. The revival. In America, an elite who survived in bunkers tries to rebuild civilization. Well, I did promote eugenics. Somehow that seemed to be effective at something. Invention of the microchip. The Rangers of Renewal arrive in Europe. Large sterilization operations of the inferior. Oh, no. The human population extinct. What? You were almost extinct like 70 years ago. How did you all of a sudden explode again? Not 70 years ago, 20 years ago. How did you how just how did you go from a few million to 10 billion in 19 years? That's one generation. How many children did each woman have to lead to the Ubermensch take power and the world standard of living has returned to okay, anti-renewal attacks, eradication of the last. Ooh, yeah, damn. This game, this game is crazy, like legit, just crazy. Okay, there's the invention of the microchip. Can I change something before that? Civil war in China. Of course, I'm changing that. The Chinese government decides to purge itself of communist influence, which in the past had allowed it to stabilize with the help of the Soviet Union. The Chinese Communist Party provokes a civil war against the republic in place, which will lead to a civil war that will last until the 1970s and cause more than 6 million deaths. Make the Republic of China win the war, raise tensions in China further. Let's see. Make the Republic of China win the war. Not exactly sure what that'll lead to. Master of propaganda, knowing the future movements of the communist troops, you kidnap Mao and discourage the communist effort, using the nationalist feeling of the Chinese to counter what you call Russian influence. That doesn't work. The nationalists were actually aligned with actually had the favor of the Soviet Union at least, at least by the early 30s. So, yeah, whoever designed this, this particular scenario, is perhaps not as knowledgeable on that field as they think they are. The Communist Party weakens and is crushed by the Republic of China. Now what happens? My karma has gone up slightly, I think. There are more possible modifications, but what interests me is here. The Republic of China crushes the Chinese Communist Party. China repels the Japanese invasion and annexes Japan. Wow. Russia, caught in the capitalist vice of China and America, abandons communism. Okay. The Treaty of Hanoi. China and the USA share the commercial exploitation of the countries of Southeast Asia. Not good. China puts this guy, or this thing, the first artificial satellite in orbit. Instead of the Soviet Union, it's China. Implementation of the one-child policy in China. Okay, that happens in 1971 in this other world. Okay. And yet somehow the human population still exceeds 10 billion inhabitants. The fourth root computer valley in China creates Baidu and revolutionizes the internet in 1985. Al Qaeda destroys the Forbidden City. Oh. Okay. For how long have I been filming? 28 minutes. Well, there's still enough time for one change. Charles Darwin publishes The Origin of the Species. No, I don't want to change that. If this is to be the last change, let's make it something impactful. Foundation of the first cities. Oh no, I can't change that. Fuck. Okay, what's the Emperor Qin unifies China. Emperor Qin is fundamental to the history of Chinese power. He unified the warring kingdoms of China into a single empire and standardized currency and measurements. He is the main reason China is actually a unified country still, because pretty much everyone else sought to emulate him. The same way the European powers sought to emulate Rome. Every Chinese ruler sought to emulate Qin. He designed the Great Wall. All these victories are not without sacrifice, and the regime is mostly perceived as authoritarian, even cruel. Either assassinate him or suggest a policy of external conquest. Spread Chinese influence. Yeah, sure, let's go with that. Full chaos. If China is an endless territory, you can persuade Qin not to neglect external conquests. Quickly, the Qin Empire becomes a world power with undisputed power. Yeah, there are other clues aside from grammar mistakes that should show people that this game wasn't written by someone whose native language is English. You've changed the past, what's going to happen? Ooh, I screwed my karma so bad. Anyway, moving ahead. The Qin Emperor unifies China and sets out to conquer the world. Caliphate of Damascus, okay. A lot of these things seem unchanged, funnily enough. Great, created. China conquers the Mongol Khanate. This is I'm guessing Genghis Khan dies, and instead a Chinese man gets to do all of that. And let's see, China conquers Tibet and India. Took you a while to get to that point. Any other major change? No. Oh, China submits Japan, submits to Japan, or gives Japan over. China dominates and integrates all of Southeast Asia. Oh, I think it dominates Japan. It forces Japan to submit. Okay. Any other change? China causes the Second World War and conquers the world. Okay. China is the first world power. The rest of the world being a colony. Ooh, that's intriguing. Third World War of the independence of the countries against China. Possible modification. Collapse of China. Again, really? And anything else? No. That's pretty much it. Well, okay, that was enough. I'm done. This was a little bit crazier than I thought it would be, but it was fun. Thank you for your attention, assuming you've made it this far. If you've enjoyed what it is you've seen, then please like the video and maybe even share it wherever you think other people will like it as well. If there is anything you'd like to add to what it is I've played and maybe to the conclusions this game has shown you, that's what the comment section is for. And if you want to see when my next video gets released, well then please subscribe. And ideally also ring the bell or do whatever else YouTube will ask of you in order to keep you notified. I also have a main channel where I talk about book-related and literature topics, a link to which you can find in the description down below, right past my social media links, which I also suggest you check out, should you choose to. And yeah, that was basically it. Until next time, I have been the One Take Man.